Alright, today I'm going to walk you through the process of showing you how I make my homemade almond milk. You're probably not going to see much of me in here except my back as I'm doing this, but I thought I would go ahead and, for those of you who are more visual and can appreciate a video, this is what I'm doing. Okay, so first I have my almonds. Can you see that? So my almonds have been soaking in water overnight. I think you just need to do this maybe about 8 hours, 8 or 12 hours. I do it overnight, so, and they're usually in the water probably, a long time, probably more than 12 hours. But okay, so this is about 2 cups of almonds. I put some salt in it because that's what one person said. I think it's supposed to help do something. So I soak it with a little salt. Cover it, make sure the almonds are completely covered with water. And then they've been soaking overnight, so now I'm going to rinse them. So follow me. Excuse my messy kitchen. Okay, so I'm just going to put them in here. Give them a rinse. Pull them back. Actually, I think I'll just carry them. Alright, and back we go. Okay, and just a note about this. This is an Oster, I think it's an 8-speed. Yeah, an 8-speed blender. Does chopping and mixing and that. And I found this, I'm not sure how much it retails for, but I found it marked down to $6 at Walmart. So I bought 2 of them for $6, right? Can't go wrong, right? And it works great. So I'm going to pour my almonds into my blender. Make sure you can see that. Okay, and then I need some water. Okay, now I am going to, it doesn't matter so much that you have as much water as you are going to want at the end, because you can add more water. As you can see, this, let's see, this makes, it looks like I've got about this, actually I've got more like 3 cups of almonds in here. Okay, that's more than I usually do. I usually don't do more than about 2. So I don't have as much space for water, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and put about 3 cups of water in here. And then I'll add more water later. The more water you add, the more your almond milk will become skim-like. If you want it to stay more like a whole milk, or 2%, use less water. So it depends on how you like to taste it, how long you want it to last, what you're using it for. I like to drink this. I don't drink it very often, but I probably make a batch of this almost twice a week now. Not this much. If I do like 1 cup of almonds, which is what I started out doing, then I would need to do it more often. So maybe about once a week if I'm doing 2 or 3 cups of almonds. I drink a little bit. I use it in the Shrinker, which is a Trim Healthy Mama drink. I think I use it in another Trim Healthy Mama recipe for a shake, and then I like the chia seed pudding, so I would use it in that. Okay, so now I'm going to put the lid on. And the blender, it will be loud. I think it's louder on video than it is in real life. So I am going to scooch you back a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to blend it for a minute or two just depends. I'm going to do some different speeds to try to ground it up. I'll do it some more because I really want to get the pulp, you know, as small as I can, because I'm going to strain strainers, and I have some of these smaller ones, and I have 3 sizes of the ones with the handle, and I'm just going to do like a double strainer. So I'm just going to put a strainer inside a strainer, and then I'm going to pour it into here, and then I'll grind it up some more. I'm just going to go ahead and start pouring it. Alright. Make sure that I'm taking you with me. Now hopefully you can see this. I'm trying to be cameraman and star here. Okay, it's okay if it goes over there. And what I do is I squish my pulp down to squeeze out that milk. Now I'm okay doing it this way because this is what I have. And just by the way, the pulp I will toast it in the oven and dry it out so I can use it, you know, like a flour. If I want it ground into a fine flour, then I'll just use my coffee bean grinder, which is just an old Mr. Coffee bean grinder that I've had for about a decade. I've ground nuts in it, and beans, and flaxseed, and let's see here, I need to, whoops. Okay, let me get this. Usually I don't do this little strainer, I mean I use another one, but usually I'll just do the big one. Oh, never mind. I mean, usually I use the handled kind when I'm doing a double straining. This is the first time I think I've used one of these smaller ones. In fact, I didn't realize I had 2 of them. Just found the second one in there today. Okay. Okay. And then I'll ground these almonds, the almond pulp again, just to help squeeze out what I can. Remember, I had so much in there that I didn't have as much room for water, and I don't know if you could see it or not, but even the 3 or 4 cups of water that I had there, when it was blending, the liquid was rising up into like the lid. So I feel like I've got to hold that lid on just to keep the liquids from coming out. Okay. And again, you'll have more milk depending on how much water you use. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna add some water to my pulp. Look at all that pulp. Can you see all that? Alright, so I'm gonna put this all back in here. I'm gonna add some more water. I'm gonna ground it up even smaller. I'm going to back you up again. Hopefully you saw some of that. Alright, so let's try this again. Okay, so this is the most almonds I've ever done at a time, and it was about 3 cups of almonds. Like I mentioned earlier, I usually do one. I started out doing about 1 cup, then I moved into 2, and I didn't realize, I don't know, I just poured more than I usually do in this time, but that's alright. so as you can see, I think this is a 2-quart pitcher, and I have almost, it's 3/4 of the way full of almond milk, and I could add more. I can add more and make it as thin as I want. If I want to leave it like that. And then notice I have like around 3 cups, maybe 3 to 4 cups of pulp. So I started out with about 3 cups of almonds. I've got almost exactly that in pulp. I might go ahead and try to wring some more almond milk out of it, and then I'll dry it, and I'll have my own almond meal or my own almond flour. And if you do any shopping for the almond milk and the almond flour, you know how expensive that can get. So I don't buy the super expensive ones, but I could get 9 cups of almonds. This is a 9-cup bag of almonds I got for, I think, $15 and change at Sam's Club. And 9 cups, so that, depending on how much you use, this could last you for a little while. I like to put my milk in glass jars. Here's my little handled strainer. So I'm going to put it over here. It fits great. And I'm going to give my milk another strain. Okay. And because I might add some more water to it, can you see that? Make sure you can see when I lift that up. Okay. Alright. So, see, not much pulp, although some of it's settled, I think, down to the bottom. Let's see, I'm going to put it in there. Pour this. Give it a stir, get that milk out of there. Also, I prefer the taste of this milk over the stuff that I bought at the store. And I don't even, anymore now, I don't add anything to it. No vanilla, no sweetener. It's good. It tastes good like it is. And, yeah, I pretty much don't drink milk at all. I mean, cow milk anymore. I mean, I'll have a little bit here and there, and I usually don't drink cereal or eat cereal anymore. That's just a treat. Since I've been doing Trim Healthy Mama, I don't stay perfectly on plan, but I figure the more of those good eating habits and just learning the science of how food works together in our bodies, the more of that I can apply, the better off I'll be. I have lost some weight. I've slimmed down. This is a jar that had peaches in it at one time. Look at that. I saved some of my jars and I reused them. Like this. Isn't that great? So I have whatever that is. That's 1.5. So this is about, I think, 2 cups. Yeah, probably about 2 cups of almond milk each. Put those in the fridge. Okay, so here's my pan. I don't put anything in there. I don't use parchment paper. I don't spray it with oil or anything like that. I don't use spray oils anyways. Whenever I need to grease a pan, I just use coconut oil or olive oil, and I just rub it in there. But I'm not doing that for my pulp. I just stick it in the pan, and I set the oven at my lowest setting, which is I mean, it starts at warm, but my lowest temperature showing on there is 200. It's an old stove. So I just, I do 200 and I stick it in the oven for a couple hours or so. Stir it up with a spatula every so often until it's dry enough, and then I'll just turn off the oven and leave it in there to be warm, and it just stays in there for as long as it needs, maybe a few hours to dry out, because I want it dry. And then I don't usually grind it up any finer than it comes out, unless I do it by hand, and that's just taking the spatula or some kind of a tool and smashing it down. It breaks down pretty easily. But if you want it to be a fine almond flour, you know, get out your grinder or food processor. I could probably just use my blender also if I really wanted to, but I'm able to get by doing it by using my coffee bean grinder. This is the pulp. Look at all that pulp. I mean, it still looks like I got about 3 cups of almond meal in here. That's just awesome to me, because, you know, I've gotten, what, maybe 3 quarts. And again, if I want to add more water to the milk, it'll make it more of a skim, but that's okay. Skim or 2%. And then I've got all this pulp to dry out and use in my meals, so it's a great way to go. Okay, I'm going to stick it in the oven. Okay, so the almond milk is in the oven. I mean, excuse me, the almond pulp. Oops. Yes. Another big jar. So, I'm so messy sometimes. 3 quarts, maybe, and then I've got more pulp to go put in the oven. Okay, for this I think I need a canning jar lid. So this is what I got. Alright, so how awesome is that? I got 3 full jars of milk, and of course I could add a little bit of water and top that off. So I'll have 3 full jars of almond milk to drink, to use in my recipes, Trim Healthy Mama recipes. And I'll have, let's go over to the oven, and I have all that pulp to turn into flour, or just use it dry. You could leave it wet and store it in the freezer or something, use it in your smoothies. But so I'll have all of that to use in baked goods. And that's that. It took me longer, but I used more almonds than I usually use, and just trying to video it. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'm trying to do more videos that might be helpful and interesting. I do have a blog. It's hallofamemoms.com. If you have any questions, leave me a question, and I'll probably try to answer it in a video. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.